is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are feeling like meta this morning. Hopefully, you guys are feeling better than my audio this morning. Hopefully, you guys had a absolutely terrific, relaxing weekend. And I hope you guys are ready for this week. Let's go. Let's see if I can get some trading view up as you guys are just piling on into the rooms. Audio's all good. You guys can hear me. We set. Mic is good. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I think we're good. I think we're good. All right. BEA, beautiful. All right. Let me get the SPY up. We'll start with that one. So this way we can vibe with the entire market all at once. We got you guys working yourselves into the room. We got Albert, good morning. Alex, good morning. Bill, good morning. We got Brandon in the house. Brian, Chad, David, Doug, KK. Whew, it's going to be a good day. Doug KK is with us. We got Doug Stevenson. Good morning, Doug. D, we got Frank. Greg Hill, messing with the early morning gremlins. We got Greg Gilbert, good morning. GW's in the house. Jeremy, we got Joe, JT, Kyle, Matt R, Michael Holt is in the house. He stepped out of the virtual reality just for us. This is impressive. Patrick, good morning. We got Peter, good morning. Quantran, good morning. Ronald's in the house. Sam, Steven, Sylvan. We got Vanessa with us today. We got Victor. We got Wes. We got Will. Yes, sir. You guys are still piling on in. Oh, man, it's going to be fantastic. All my people at YouTube land, good morning. Hope you guys are feeling well. Let's go with the SPY. Let's start with this. Let's see where we're at. Obviously, throughout, if you guys have questions, if you guys have tickers, make sure you guys throw that in. And if I don't get to it within a few minutes, just retype the ticker in. I promise. It's not a personal thing. I just miss them. All right, so here's our hourly chart. Let's start with the daily real quick. We did have a little bit of a bearish indecision candle rejected off a really good place. So I was looking at this yesterday. So we had a little bit of a downtrend, or actually probably on Friday. We had a little bit of a downtrend here, right? So potentially a little bit of a double bottom. Could be capitulation from that last CPI numbers that we got. We broke out. This all could be a retest. Double bottom, breakout, retest, perfect bounce. Good check into that high wave indecision. And today is technically a gap and go. The only thing that would make this better, we have obviously 26 more minutes, so we'll see what happens. I don't think this happens, but it could. I don't see a reason why it would, though. If we start gapping out the high of the day, which is somewhere around this 378.95, that was a previous VPOC. We tested that one beautifully. We did get rejected. I do expect that one, since we've already been retested once, I think that one would be a little bit easier to break through on the second time. The one thing that is concerning is this candle right here, more so on the hourly. So this is our candle with the big high volume from a few days ago. What was that, Friday, so Thursday? We're just starting to get into that territory. If at any point, which obviously now we got to wait probably a long time for this to happen, but if at any point we start breaking out of that candle, we will be off to the races in the market. That's going to be our bullish sign. We start holding some candles above that area, specifically above that VPOC would be beautiful, but that's 388.95. Obviously a very long way to go to get there. So we have to look at a little bit more smaller of a time frame. In this candle, there's a lot of people that could be trapped, or in a worst case, we're selling and freaking out. And I think that volume is going to be a little bit of a tough challenge to break through. However, we are holding that double bottom. We almost have I don't even know what that's called. It's not technically tweezers because there's three of them. I'm gonna call it tweezers. That's tweezers wick at the bottom. But we do have, we're still kind of holding that one little hammers candle on the hourly. So it looks good. We might get a little chop. I would expect probably some kind of retest just at this key level. So I think we get early morning, just a little bit of pullback. I don't know if it's anything too incredible. I think worst case scenario, we get down to like 375.12. We might stop before that, 376.31. So I'd be looking for some kind of a just a little pullback. Keep in mind it is a gap and go, but we are in an indecision candle. Is that 3 black crows and then 3 white crows? It is, yep. Yeah, but the only issue with that, three white crows are we're gapping above it. I do think there's got to be some. I think we get. I mean, again, this is from 370. We closed the day at 376. Now we're gapping up even higher, 377. These markets are wild. These markets are just straight up wild. But I have no problem going either way. I think I would love here's what I would love to do, and here's how I'll play it. I would love to see a pullback like this in the markets. Come down into that VPOC would be tremendous. This is my picture perfect moment. And then I think we could cruise out of here. Keep in mind, in the US, I know we got some international viewers, but in the US, we do have elections tomorrow. I don't know exactly how the markets will act the day before. If it's anything like we've seen with CPI, I don't think it's going to be the same reaction as we see when CPI or Fed's about to raise rates. Obviously, inflation is still going to be the number one key issue. But what I do think is, or what I do know is after, and again, I don't know, we're in a wild year. This is almost like that market where you go, well, historically, and then you're like looking at this market, you're like, well, nothing about this says historically. But I'll go with it anyway. Historically, after the elections, for the next 6 months has been incredible returns in the market. Again, that's historically. I don't know. Maybe we can make an exception this year. Maybe it is time where the markets want to rally. We're for sure at a good spot for that to happen, but usually it's been anywhere from 12 to I think it was like 20% anytime we've had for the next 6 months after election. So usually like the first week or two is a little bit slower, and then you have good rallies throughout into the again after that midterm election. If anything is like CPI, we've done nothing prior to CPI, and then anytime we get key news that comes out, pretty much until that news happens, the day before, the day of is a little bit more on the muted side. But let's see if we get that pullback. Let's see if we can rally from there. That's picture perfect. Otherwise, again, I will play either way in this market. This is a good spot. I can make a case where we just continue down to zero. I'm kidding, kind of, or we do get this rally spot and maybe the bottom is in at least for this year. So we'll have to see on that. Let's take a look real quick at the Qs. Q. We were bearish one tomorrow night, switch to bullish. Tomorrow's also the end of the current tomorrow's the end of the new moon phase. They're going to throw a moon on top of us as well. All right, we'll see. We will see. We got Ernesto, Jacob, Pat commenting in YouTube land. What is up, team? All right, we got the Qs. So Qs look very, very similar to the SPY right now. Not too much of a difference. SPY looks like it's running a little bit more than the Qs. Either way, I think we're still going to get a little bit of a gap and go. We are still in this indecision candle. Again, I would like to see maybe a little bit of a pullback into previous VPOC. It's not that crazy here. So that's 263.74. That would be our bounce spot. We do have now 2 days in a row where we are starting to make, this is the zone we kind of want to start watching. Is a trend being built? If today we can get a close higher than this 263.67, that would be at least some type of a trend started already, and we could see some bigger bullish pushes or some follow through. We will see. We got Tesla. I'll take this off. Blah, blah, blah. Good. All right, so on Tesla we have Here's our hourly chart. Obviously, we all watched this one. I Can I say I sold too soon? I did. You guys just saw earlier. I took those lines off. That was my trade from Friday. I grabbed a nice 1.2 on it. Clearly would have been a 10 to 12 hour trade, but I don't want to talk about it. Either way, I know some of you guys talking there too. I even said to, and we lost on an AMD trade earlier, so we lost an hour. I was like, I just let's go positive for the day. But I was like, if we could hit this target, this thing has the ability to drop, and that it did. It did not look back whatsoever. So if we get any type of rally, which I don't know, I think this thing runs to about 212, 213 is what I'm thinking. Matt said it did drop. Yeah. I don't even know if the word drop, I feel like we're using like politically correct words when we say drop. I don't think that's called a drop. That was just a massacre. We have, it's a free fall. Yeah. Even Tom Petty at some point during the day, yes, on Friday during that drop, would go, how many times am I got to sing this song? I'm getting tired. I can't do it anymore. Yeah, they got absolutely hammered. But if we could get some kind of a retrace, that would take us up to 213.43 is about a 50% retrace. I'll throw a quick line up there. Maybe we get there today. It's possible. If this market does want to gap and go and just run insanely, I don't know if Tesla has to react to it. Again, a little bit of a pullback would be tremendous. We are breaking out very close, not very close to that little wick. You did have some good bullish volume there. Obviously, all of that, those two candles were the main volume of the day. So as we start to get into this, I would assume probably 210 zone. I would say about 211. We're going to hit some resistance if we do want to go bullish. That would also be breaking out that candle. People start feeling pretty good about Tesla, and then watch out. We got 213.37. And I think last stop, which would be a good one, is about 216, just under 216. So those are the key spots I'm watching. That's only if we get a retest. And I think in some way, shape, or form, this thing is going to, even if we get some kind of retest, even if this thing is the bottom and we're going to go bullish, I think we have to come back down for a double bottom. It's either double bottom or Tom Petty gets back. Tom Petty's back on the job. We'll see. But we'll leave that there for now. Elon is getting some bad press from Twitter. I wonder if it flows into Tesla. Yeah, Elon is getting a little bit of bad press from Twitter. But he's been getting bad press from Twitter. He's also gotten bad press when Tesla first started for a good portion of like 4 or 5 years. I think if there's one person that can handle it, I would say there's a couple of people that can handle it, but one of them would be Elon. And again, he's going to make changes to the platform. Like he spent, like, think about this. If you spend 44 billion on something, you're going to probably do things that will benefit you to make some of that money back. But like that $8, I don't even know why people are upset about $8 blue check mark on Twitter. Like, I don't like they're like, how are you going to charge people for freedom of speech? You're not really charging. Like, you can still tweet things. You can still, it's just if you want your, like, if I'm Jason Mraz and I would like to tweet something because I'm famous and I got a whole bunch of followers, I think I can afford $8, number one. And number two, it's probably a little bit more beneficial for that person just coming from the aspect of, okay, maybe you shouldn't have a whole bunch of bots under your profile. I mean, even Newsom, even Matt DeLong, they have fake accounts. Not that they have the fake accounts, but there's fake accounts from them. So like $8, and then you go, wow, this person wants me to send me all their, they want me to send them all of my Bitcoin, and they're going to return it 20x by Tuesday. Of course, Jeremy would say that. Why wouldn't he? And then you go up, you look, okay, there's a little blue check mark. So now we know if it's actually Jeremy or not. It's just a transparent way to get a check mark. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's thinking about $44 billion too. I don't think that's, like, as much as I want to make an argument for, like, yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, he's probably also trying to make some money back. It is a business. I mean, They haven't been profitable before, so you might as well shake it up, try something new. AMD, this is a nice gap on AMD. I kind of like this one so far the most out of everything. Again, on any of these candles, I think I like the method of we get some kind. I still want to stay bullish for the most part today. I think I do want to stay bullish. If we get that opening candle that's red, we could take a break out of it. That would be, I think, a decent looking setup. AMD does have some room. Again, our first target on this one is 63.93, but that was already retested once. We still have this untested VPOC, $68.12. So again, that's something I would be personally kind of eyeing down. This is a good looking gap on AMD though. Just enough to trap some of those bears. We did have some buying at the end of the day. It would make sense. We get a little bit of selling at open and then look for some kind of a rally at that point. NVIDIA had a really interesting day, or actually last couple days. So good little entry or good little push bullish where anytime this thing has been selling, which gets some, it's been getting wild moves. Anytime we've gotten those wild moves, this thing has been off to the races. If I'm looking at targets on this, we do have a little bit of resistance above us. That's going to take us somewhere to 143.54. The next one is 144.06. If that ends up breaking, probably next target is going to be about into the 151 zone. So 151.20 would be the next target I'd be looking for. It's got a ton of room to the upside. We do probably have this coming in. Let me try not to move this line too much, but we are going to have a little bit of downtrend resistance that we're going to have to get through. And again, that would probably take us very close to that 151 zone. So we'll see how it reacts off of that, if we just get clapped down from that spot or if this thing does want to make a move. But right now, a little bit of volume up in this area. That's our last. If you were bearish on that one, you probably want to be out before that. If you want to recreate a position from that point on, go for it. But yeah, that's for me. If this thing is going to break 143, 144, probably that 144.06 zone, I would just be out of the bearish plays and just either look to flip bullish. There's not a lot in this zone to really contain this thing, or at least do nothing. So, but I'd probably be out on the bearish direction. The chips have some weird momentum. Somebody threw Apple into the chat pane. I think my boy Matt R, if I'm not mistaken. Albert says, why $8 and not $199? To the same logic, why not $20 a month? I don't I don't know. I did see some Twitter math come in though. I did see some Twitter math come in. It was somebody, I think a bunch of people posted. I don't know. It's going around the Twitterverse, but they're like, there's 44 billion people in the world. Elon Musk could have gave $5 billion to each person and still have money left over instead of buying Twitter. And I'm like, none of that makes any sense. None of that made any. I don't even think the number of people are accurate. I don't think the amount that you give each person would have equated to anything close to what you're talking about. So obviously I have to report him as a bot, naturally. I didn't even report him to Elon. I reported him to like a second grade education school, to my teacher, Mrs. Henry. That's not even my teacher's name. Don't even try Facebook. Apple, we have a little bit of a gap up here on Apple as well. So again, we are getting those gaps. The Apple one is not as impressive as the other ones, to be honest. So this is actually a gap down. Never mind. This is a gap down when the rest of the market is moving higher. Let's see if we can get a wave count on this hourly. I'd probably be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We might be in the ABC. See if we get any kind of check into that previous VPOC. Downtrend wise, we're probably looking at something like this. That's one. And then we probably have another one that's looking I mean, kind of close to that. But I would love to see a little bit of a pullback here. And this one, maybe we are at a key spot for double bottom. So that would look interesting. This VPOC did come in lower than the previous. So that's not a great sign. But if we can start holding, we are back above this one at least. We're back above this. If we get some kind of a pullback, maybe we can start looking potentially bullish on Apple. I just think it's a little too soon. And again, it's not, most of these things so far have all been just inside days, so we're gonna have to wait. Craig Levine says run. Jose says, how do you like Microsoft? Interesting candle. Yep, we can take a look at both of those as well. And we got Johnny G in the house. Let's see. Again, close, but not completely gapping out of the entire day on Amazon. So we have a little bit of resistance coming in, kind of in no man's land, right? So we have 89.70 would be some kind of support. Some kind of resistance is 94.35. If you want to trade that one, you could easily just flip a coin. But I would much rather see a pullback to 89.60-ish, 89.70. That would be a better spot to attempt to go long. That would give us better risk reward. And on the same other hand, if we're going short, 94.30, as close as possible to that. So I would do nothing out of the gate on that one. Let's check Delta real quick. The Delts. Pretty decent looking gap. Again, I would love to see some kind of pullback. This one will qualify at open. And I would want to stick bullish all day on this one. So I'm not going to take the bearish. That's a decent gap. This one does qualify at open as well. Targets on this one, though, is going to be $33.78. Obviously, if we're playing Delta, we're going to have smaller setups anyway. But yeah, at least any kind of pullback on this one will give us a little bit better risk reward. But I think Delta's buy the dip today for sure. RUN. Sunrun. I feel like this one was getting hyped up for some reason today. Let me flip this to a daily. Daily chart. So I think it's like a wave count inside a wave count. So let me be as confusing as possible to everybody. Good looking, decent double top anyway. You did make a higher low at that one. This is, I think, in a longer picture of things, I think this is some type of a 1, 2, 3, 4. We get double bottom, something like that would be great in a longer term perspective. And that would be 5. That being said, so here's the wave inside a wave situation where in this wave 4 that we're at, we're probably sitting at a 1, 2. This could be some type of a 3, 4, 5. So I could see one more pump on this one. One more pump, look for some kind of consolidation, and then longer term double bottom if you're going to try to play that. But otherwise, yeah, I don't really see anything too crazy on it, at least for day trade basis. We do have a good trending VPOC. We are opening slightly higher than Fridays, but below Thursdays, so kind of range bound. Good candle, good volume. This is a good retest spot. So if you do think this thing pops long again, I think longer term we do get a little bit of a pullback and then we go. But if you disagree with me, number one, we're not friends anymore. But 2, I'm not always correct on it. And if you guys have a better insight and want to go long, you're probably looking at this spot to look wrong to go long. This is a good breakout candle. Not quite 3-bar play. I'd want this one to be a little bit higher for a true 3-bar play. But again, you would be buying the pullback. Stop on this one, I would go either 22.81 or 22.51, just depending on your risk tolerance. But you really don't want to see that candle break down with that volume. If that breaks down, the play is relatively over. So decent buy spot. Decent buy spot. As long as you know where to put your stops on that one. It's not a horrible play. We got Meta, and then we got to look at Microsoft as well. Yeah, that's an interesting gap. Nice little hammer. Again, it is green. You should expect. Again, how far does this one come down for a retest? I don't know, but it is a retest candle, so I wouldn't buy right at the open. I would have to wait for probably a couple candles, see if we get some kind of a pullback before I enter. You do have resistance on this one sitting at 95.17. So yeah, 95.17, and then we got 93.12 is going to be some kind of support. So a little bit of a chop fest out of the gate. Again, I would probably give that one a few minutes before hopping in. But Meta, you do have, I think they're jumping up on news that they're making massive layoffs, which again, bad for the people getting laid off, but great for the investors. Company will hold more money that is essentially would just go back into the metaverse. So really nobody makes money on that deal. What was the last one? Oh, Microsoft, MSFT. MSFT, Microsoft. Good little break. We can see continuation on this one. Yeah, I probably remain bullish. Again, I would love a red candle to come in. If it does, take the break of that. 224.94 would be my target. You definitely could see a little bit of continuation. That's probably about a 50% retrace of that move from here to here as well. So yeah, kind of overall, I'm going to kind of remain bullish on the day. I'm going to kind of remain a little bit more to the bullish side. Let me see Boeing real quick. Some of the chip names definitely could get some kind of a bid today as well. We've seen bulls around the chip field for a little bit now. Meta, there's so much going on with Meta in terms of just news. I don't know how that would handle. DWAC would be another one. DWAC. I think DWAC is getting. I know. At least in Pennsylvania, Trump was doing he was campaigning for Oz. He didn't quite come out and say he's running officially, but he said in a few days, you guys would be happy. Obviously, that's speaking to the rally. So if you guys don't like Trump, you might not be happy. If you do like Trump, you will be happy. So pretty much he was hinting at definitely pushing toward presidential run, and DWAC is going to get a little bit of a pop off that. Probably a lot of sell the news type scenarios, but we are breaking out of a good volume wick on this one. But watch DWAC; it's going to have some momentum probably today too, as well. For solar, rum. Oh, you snuck that one in. You got rum right before the market open. I like it. All right. This is that rumble, right? Yep, we are trending positive. Next target on this one, I would probably set some kind of trade 1351, maybe 1350, and then target on that one 1477. But it's got good momentum. We seem to be breaking out a lot of VPOCs, a lot of consolidated area. I think we did IPO somewhere back here, so we're above IPO. Yeah, it looks decent. Looks decent for a bullish little pop for about another, what I say, about $1.50, $1.40. So I definitely want to keep on the watch list as well. Otherwise, all you guys in YouTube land, I do appreciate you guys joining us each and every day and hanging out with us, observing the markets with us. And you guys can do that all day. All you have to do is go to reallifetrading.com. We do have the all access pass. Make sure on the way out, you guys hit that little thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Make sure you guys subscribe to the latest content and videos that Real Life Trading puts out. Otherwise, unfortunately, that bell is the sign that I got to run.